All right. So basically, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert Chambers, and I basically teach people how to master the art of playing piano by ear. Now, this is a live Q&A, but I always like to stall at the beginning because a lot of times people are a little bit shy at the beginning. So this is one thing that I do know. I know that millions of people around the world are taking courses that use one or all of these five ineffective philosophies when they're trying to play by ear, right? They want to learn theory. And I said that's a philosophy that they say you need. Well, if that was true, then so many people would be able to play piano by ear. That is not true. So they'll say, yeah, you got to learn all the theory in that music. I'm like, that's great to play those songs, but that's not playing by ear, right? Because we have people that play this, right? And that's fine and that's all beautiful, but they don't know what they're playing. They still can't play by ear. So that can't be the answer. Some people say we need to learn intervals. So you need to learn all the intervals in, intervals, their major seconds, your minor thirds, and all of that stuff. Well, if that worked once again, then a lot of people will be able to play by ear, right? But that's like trying to identify each letter in every sentence while someone is talking. That's basically, it's just not practical, right? Then there's another philosophy that says you need to learn how to read chord charts to be able to play by ear, right? So you have your B flat over your F, you can read those, your E diminished 7, and then your E major, E flat major, and then the B flat over. Yeah, that's good and that's cute, right? But that's not really playing by ear, because if you have to rely on chord charts, I'm not saying they're wrong, I'm saying if you have to rely on chord charts to play your favorite songs, that's not playing by ear, okay? Right? Then there's a philosophy that says you need to know like the softwares or someone to show you what to play. Like, you have those, I guarantee now you can pull up probably 100,000 to 1,000,000 videos, people saying you can play by ear. Here, play a A, play a C, play a E flat, play a G, right? And they'll just tell you what to play, or they have a software that lights up with the keys, right? And that's all fun and that's great, right? But if you just have to be told what to play, guess what? That's really not playing by ear, right? You're just copying what a skilled person shows you note by note, or a software shows you. That's not playing by ear, right? Now, because you play a song, eventually you think that you're playing by ear, but you're not. Just because you don't read the music doesn't mean it's playing by ear, okay? So there's also another philosophy that says you got to have perfect pitch to play by ear, right? And that's where you can play the exact notes. Now, I've been playing piano by ear since I was 3, and so when I kind of got a good handle on it was when I was 7, and then by the time I was 18, so let's say I was 18, I'm playing advanced piano by ear, and I've been playing for almost 40 years, or I could say it's like 40 years if I count when I was 3, right? Then I don't have perfect pitch. I can't tell you if that's a C. I can't tell you what C sounds like, right? So that is not necessary to be able to play that, right? The rest of us don't have perfect pitch. If you have it, that's great. But as you know, that it's not natural for everybody else. So that's a good tool, but it's not necessary to play by ear. But I do have a philosophy number 6. And philosophy number 6 simply states that you need to forget philosophies 1 to 5 to be able to play by ear. Okay, so you got to play by, if you want to play by ear, forget philosophies 1 to 5. Okay, that's what you have to do. Now, I'm here because you may have some questions. So if you have some questions, go ahead and ask your questions. Okay, so if you have some questions, go ahead and ask them, and I will wait because there is a great delay. I see that there is a delay with this streaming, so I'm actually watching it back, and I can see myself talking about going to ask your questions. So I'm going to wait just in case you have some questions on playing by ear, and I'll take some of your questions, okay? So go ahead and you can actually type it. But one thing that I do want to say is playing by ear is the ability to play what you hear without any visual aid. No copy me videos, no diagrams, no sheet music, no softwares. That's not playing by ear, right? Because if you can play by ear, you can play any style. So what I would probably ask you guys is, what style would you want to be able to play, right? Whether it's gospel, jazz, classical, Latin, ragtime, reggae, rock and roll, right? What style would you want to be able to play? Let me hear from you, right? So if there was a gospel song, there's so many gospel songs. There's current gospel songs and there's old gospel songs. What's a gospel song that I like? Well, let's see what's in my head right now. This one has been becoming popular by the Sunday Collective with Kanye West. Were they doing? My mind slipped there for a second. Take it to another key. D. Let's go to E flat. Key of E. And it's okay to make some mistakes as you play. Okay, mistakes do happen, and you can fall into that. Okay, so that was gospel, right? I'm not going to do classical, jazz, ragtime, reggae, or rock and roll. Right? Anyways, etc. There's all those different styles. So let me see if I got a question. Let me see if I can answer it. Okay. Okay. 4Q BM64 says, I'm just like to understand how music works so I can play anything and make up stuff on the fly, like improvising. Okay. So to be able to improvise, the number one thing you got to be able to do is you got to be able to understand. Okay, got to be able to understand how music works. So let me put it like this. Okay, sorry. This is what you got to do. There's basically, it's like this. To get that result, right, to improvise and to just play things on the spot, there are 3 prerequisites. Number 1, you got to acknowledge that you can already play by ear. Okay, so that's number 1. You got to acknowledge that you can already play by ear. Okay, if you want to improvise. Right? Because whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right, as Henry Ford would say, right? Because there's 2 main reasons why people can't play advanced piano by ear. That's this. That's either they think they can't or they're being incorrectly taught how to play by ear. There's only those 2 reasons, okay? So prerequisite number 1, you can already play by ear. And right? The prerequisite number 2 is you got to acknowledge that music is a language, okay? You got to acknowledge that music is a language. I have a quote that says, music is a language, and languages are only spoken by those who understand them, right? And the next, well, not a radio station. What I want to say is just, I don't speak Russian, but if a Russian radio station was playing right now, if I heard it, it would just sound like gibberish to me. Why do I not understand what they're saying? Clearly, somebody that speaks the language understands it. It's because I don't understand the language. So if you're having a challenge with certain things playing by ear or improvising, it's because you need to understand the language, all right? Which leads me to prerequisite number 3. You got to be willing to learn the language, okay? Learning the language is very simple because when it comes to playing by ear, The most valuable thing is to understand what you're hearing. And what you're hearing is a language. Learning a song isn't learning a language. So a lot of people go online and they type and they try to learn a song, have somebody to show them. That's not learning the language of music. That's just learning the song. So you have to keep on coming back. That's not going to make you improvise, right? Then they're saying learning a song as someone in person or in videos or some software shows you what note to play. That's not learning the language, right? When you know the language of music, you can play anything you choose on your own by ear. But in order to know the language, you need to understand the language. And in order to understand the language, you need to be able to play in any key. Welcome to any key music, okay? Right? And when you can play in any key, then that's when you can begin to understand the language and be able to improvise, okay? So if you can't play by ear or improvise and you don't have a basically you don't have a play by ear problem or an improvisation problem. You have a problem understanding what you're hearing. All right? Okay, so basically, so I have your course and I'm currently on volume 1 CD4. All right, well, congratulations that you're in the course and you have volume 1 CD4. Okay, so you got a ways to go. Okay, so you're on volume 1 CD4, but the good thing is you have the foundation. Okay, so you have the foundation of the start, and that's what we need, because really music just has 3 building blocks. Okay, let me see if I can find them here. All right, I'm going to get my 3 building blocks. Okay, well, first of all, this is what you got to understand. Okay, there's really 4 main things that you got to understand to be able to play by ear. Okay, so there's 4 main steps actually. Number 1, you got to be able to play by ear. Like I said, you already know to play by ear, right? Number 2 is you got to be able to play in every key. So right now you're in volume 1 CD4. You're getting your foundation strong so that you will be able to play in every key. When you get to volume 2, which is numbers and ear training, that's when you're going to be able to play in every key. And after we establish that, then we got to understand indicator notes. We got to understand how to put the chords, why they work, and understand how to hear them and play them in every key. And then we can get to the next part, which is accessories, which gives you the improvisation. Okay, right? But it all stems from 3 building blocks. I'm going to tell you them. All right.